Fort Fritz is proudly sponsored by Elite Exhale, a premium CBD vape experience. Go to eliteexhale.com and use promo code FRITZ19 for 10% off. That's eliteexhale.com. Schmutzy, why in the fuck do you insist on this garden? We, number one, live in Florida. Number two, you don't even eat vegetables. And number three, you barely come see these flowers. Schmutzy, landscaping is not the great last American art form. What about the interpretive dance or the guy with the glasses? Weatherman. Or watercolor? I would even accept egg tempura. Please, you ignorant, uncultured cat. Anything but being out here in this fucking swamp fighting the fucking bugs and whatever. This goddamn scary shit. A friggin' rat ran across my foot. You know what? I'm done. I'm done with this shit. A stupid big-ass fucking thunderstorm's gonna knock all this shit down. If some horrifying bug doesn't infest it first, I need a break. Thank you. You know, I actually think some of this stuff is nice, but it makes me wonder. Can you imagine how this looked like back in prehistory? Like some kind of like a Land of the Lost, Danny McBride shit. I'm sure there were probably fucking killer vines or weird ass giant mosquitoes with got the hibiscus flower things, the stabby thing, you know, right, proboscis. How do you? No, never mind, Schmutzy. Come on, let's go, you old sucker. Let's watch some tubes. Whatever, I'm done. Let's go inside. We got those TV slaves anyway.
Another jungle,
man.
How are the leaves are sticky? Why are they sticky with what?
It's
what the fuck is this?
I think a leaf just bit me. Can that happen?
The bugs are so loud. I can't even hear my own thoughts.
They really are loud.
Oh my god!
I like the smell though. Jungle-y smell is always kind of like
it's not the worst. It's not the worst.
It's fresh. That's a good.
They make like laundry detergent out of it.
It's as familiar as swamp ass. Yeah, it's like a
jungle cane.
It's like swamp ass for your clothes.
Swamp ass just cancels out
horrible.
The swamp ass.
Yeah.
It's still not pleasant.
So do we have swamp ass or jungle ass right now? It's
I
not
have
jungle
ass.
ass.
I have jungle ass.
Full
I've got jungle body.
Ass.
Yeah, this is terrible. Like,
well, I guess no one's dying on a fucking death march.
I haven't. Yeah, no. I mean, we're on our own, right? Are you?
Hey, man, help me with my foot there.
Oh no, right. God, again.
Thank you. Sorry.
What are you stepping in? What are those things?
It's a smush.
You keep finding the smushes though, and more so than the rest of us.
I'm fucking hot. I'm sweaty. I'm hungry. I got all of that is working against me.
But
right
definitely
he's drenched.
I'm gonna sprint now.
No,
I'm gonna sprint.
It's never a good idea when you leave the group.
It makes sense.
Stay with the group.
We always have to chase after you. Then it becomes a freaking shenanigans.
It's such a thing. Dude.
It makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
Never makes sense.
It means we save you and almost die in the process of saving you, and you should have saved us, and we all die at once.
Do this.
You're like the drunk friend right now. Just stay with us.
Well, I mean, maybe I can find, like, I don't know, a radio station or a medical place.
We're in the jungle.
Or a river. You didn't let me finish. You know, fresh water.
Open with the river. Don't open the radio station in the jungle. Open with a river in the jungle. That's more believable. There's a lot of jungle rivers, not a lot of jungle radio stations.
Right. Oh, let me just find a strip mall.
You are not helping right now. All right? Let me just run ahead.
That's the point. Come on, dude, please.
I'm offering you logic. Please listen. Please don't go.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go.
No.
There he goes. Damn it.
Oh, good.
He can't all ass. You have to admit, that little bastard's quick, man. He really is.
Elven speed.
Because he's always unencumbered by clothes for some really weird reason.
He got him off, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Son of a bitch. All right, we'll pick those up and we'll bring them to him. Jesus Christ, every time.
I can't even figure out exactly where we are. I know nothing about this.
Isn't there like moss growing on the trees? Tells us what direction we're supposed to go in or something?
That's a fucking myth.
Like, how do the trees know?
On the north side.
Is it the north side?
Yes.
Who told the trees? I don't know.
It doesn't look like the same
Which jungle would help?
as before. I don't think we're anywhere like... This isn't Southeast Asia. I don't know what this is.
More South American, maybe? More Amazonian sort of feel?
Possibly,
I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of bugs. A lot of big, ugly bugs.
Really big bugs.
Big bugs.
You like the cool frogs, the painted frogs. You guys want to get weird? You want to like...
Ooh,
weird.
Yeah, get down with some poison arrow frogs.
Yeah.
Get some,
Hell no, you
some
guys.
toad
Are
licking
you
in there.
serious?
I'm
Just a
dead
quick
on
one.
for this.
We're in the
Just a
jungle.
little. They're like tiny.
I can't. Fritz
They're
already
like
ran away,
chiclets.
and then I have to watch out for you guys too. No,
You're gonna
I'm
be
not
a
doing
trip
this
sitter.
by myself.
Yeah, well, you'd be a perfect trip sitter. You'd be a
sign
perfect
up for
trip
this.
sitter.
I am a trip
Please?
sitter every goddamn day with you guys. I'm really doing this.
Please, all right,
Please not
fine.
today.
You know what?
Today, no. No, not on Jungle Day. We're not doing it.
It's the best time.
It's the only
No.
time.
What else are we
Where else are we going to find
No.
it? Poison
Son of
arrow
a
frogs.
bitch.
Whoa.
What the
Holy
fuck?
fuck nuts! What is that?
My God.
Is that a mosquito?
They always bite me first. Get away from me.
No, the thing's the size of a bird, man. Oh my god.
Shut up here. Put your dukes up. Put your dukes up.
Come on. You want some of this? You want some of this? You want some of this?
Oh my
What's up, bitch?
God.
Oh my god.
Oh god. Okay, I'm gonna grab its wings. I'm gonna grab the wings. Just gonna grab. Oh god. It's moving. Oh god.
Oh, that's so scary.
Catch. I'm
I don't do anything. I can't.
Oh god.
Don't pop it.
Oh, that was a bad
I
idea.
got it by the
It's gonna get blood
proboscis.
everywhere.
Okay, his nose. Guys, break the nose off.
I'm gonna
Break
snap it.
I'm gonna
I'm
kick it. I'm kicking it.
Punch it in the face.
Oh, okay. I'm punching the bird mosquito.
Its eyes are so big.
I know, it's like an elephant eye. Look at me, it's almost sad and tragic.
It's like an elephant eye.
Oh, God, that was horrible.
Oh, that was
Oh, God.
delicious.
It's sad. I think
Well
it's sad.
done, you guys.
The eyes have turned into X's.
Yes.
It's finally. But, oh, God, it's my God! Oh, my God! Oh, it's on my neck! It's on my neck! It's on my neck!
You got it. There it is.
Die! God! Die!
Keep dying. Fuck. Keep dying. Don't ever stop dying. Just keep dying.
What the
Oh, I want to keep dying. That was horrible.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm not.
Yes.
It wanted to speak.
It's like its last word is like, no, but
Please.
I only wanted to show you love by draining the blood out of your face.
Oh my God, Jesus
Mosquitoes
Christ.
want hugs.
We ain't in Florida anymore, guys. I know
Okay.
that. We are definitely not in Florida anymore.
Clearly.
I mean, that was
Clearly.
Florida-esque.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some big mosquitoes, but not
Yeah.
big
That
enough
was
to carry a
that was
baby.
like turbo Florida.
Great-great-grandfather mosquito. It's huge.
That was, oh God.
Grandfather Mosquitoes sounds like the worst swamp rock band like ever.
That's such a good band name.
I
What
would
do you mean?
absolutely go see
100% Mosquito.
100%.
I haven't seen some of these plants before. These ferns are enormous.
It's weird.
Yeah,
Like
you know what? Yeah, shit.
It's like we're on some creepy, weird, like nature documentary.
Are there like dinosaurs on here? Or, like,
Whoa. Oh, God, did he send
That
us?
sounds like it could
Did he
be.
send us all the way? No.
There are actually dinosaurs out here. Not in this episode, but probably in the future. What the gang faces now is far more terrifying. The natural flora of the jungle, both prehistoric and current, presents a much more subtle, yet equally terrible danger to our heroes. Little did they know that their fearless leader is actually in mortal peril right now. Let's watch.
what the fuck was
Wait,
that?
wait.
Wow, that was really kind of cool.
It was so crisply,
Very
like,
David
broadcast.
Attenborough.
Are there speakers?
Is that David Attenborough? Was that
It's-
David? I think
it
that's
was
David
very-
Attenborough.
it was
Totally
David
David. We got
Attenborough.
totally David Attenborough.
David
That's awesome.
Attenborough, shout
That's
out, baby.
awesome,
Where you
man.
at?
All right, honestly, but who's the fearless leader?
Yeah.
There's no
I
way.
don't-
First of all, he's not
fearless?
fearless.
No.
Yes. Let's break that down.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
go with that first.
Fearless, no.
Leader?
Questionable.
Oh, wait. Shh.
What's that?
Classic rock, playing from the far off radio speed.
Somebody's
What? You hear like
narrating
classic
their
rock?
own radio action.
Let's-
Someone's putting friction on their noodle or something?
Okay, so if it's
really
Fritz and he's
confused.
that calm, he's probably in danger, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's true. He's always the opposite of what he should be.
So let's
over
go over there.
here.
Let's make our way there. Fuck it, like
Oh, God,
this
he's
isn't good.
laughing now.
Oh, that doesn't sound good. Is he having naughty time over there? I don't like
Oh,
this.
God.
Are you?
Oh, he's just splashing around there. Look at
What are
him.
you in a? Where did you get a bathtub? That's not
Got like a jacuzzi in here or something?
Yeah,
What's
rubber
going on?
duckies. Where did you get those?
Oh, it's great. It's bliss.
What is this guy doing?
Why
How
do you
is
have
he
to
doing
fight?
this in the jungle? I don't get it.
How did you get like where the bubbles come from? Did you get being soaked? Or is it
Like a
bathtub.
Mr.
cold
Bubbles?
bath?
Come
No,
on, guys. There's plenty of bathtubs.
I see all of the other reservoirs, but like, what is that? What are you in?
Yeah, it doesn't look normal anymore. Now, the closer we get, the weirder it looks, which is normal for you.
It's
Well, I'll tell you.
vegetative.
I think the closest thing this could be to an explanation would be a pitcher plant. You know what a pitcher plant is?
I've heard of them.
They're a lot of fun. Come on, hop in.
No, not yet. I don't trust you.
You seem to have filled that one.
Yeah.
I'll get my own.
I have filled this water on many occasions.
Oh.
Look.
Like shrimps all over you?
Yeah,
What are
they're
those?
like shrimps. Are they bugs?
What?
Are you in like a cocktail or something going on over there?
Well, yeah, it is a cocktail, but it's okay. Have you guys ever heard of Nepenthes attenboroughii?
No, is it a neighborhood?
No,
Oh, nice.
It's not a burrow, but it is named after a famous naturalist.
Which
Wait,
one?
I think I might be able to work this one out. Hold on. I'm good at trivia. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Bear Grylls.
No. Named after the famed British broadcaster and naturalist Sir David Attenborough.
Every time.
Yeah.
You call
I only
yourself
said it
tricky.
like 2 minutes ago.
It's tricky.
Sir David Attenborough, who was a big fan of the pitcher plants genus, Nepenthes attenboroughii is endemic to a particular place, Mount Victoria in the Philippines. The mountain range, Victoria Mountains, is an ultramafic igneous/mantle rock formation, so like lava, and it's home to this carnivorous plant.
I love the word igneous.
Igneous, yeah, it's
Right?
cool. Kind of like Ignatius.
Did you say carnivorous plant?
Yes.
That's not a good thing, right?
That means it's not vegan.
Ooh.
So it eats things.
Meat.
Things-
It eats meat things.
Yeah, things that,
That are in it.
Vertebrates.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just point
What
to
got
yourself.
vertebrates?
Tell me more as I think about your situation.
Well, you might be asking, who cares about a plant on a mountain in a who cares country? You know, this plant couldn't eat you or your loved ones or your entire nuclear family without remorse, as it feeds on only the most succulent flesh anyway. And I would say valid, because they do.
Is this Little Shop of Horrors?
Yeah, it is.
Aubrey?
Aubrey too.
Aubrey too.
Or Audrey.
Audrey too.
Audrey too.
Audrey too. Damn it.
Imagine in your head a large walk-in bathtub, similar to this, with the old
Like
splishy
the
splashy.
Scarface? The
Yeah.
Scarface bathtub? Okay.
How big do you think it would be?
5?
5 feet in diameter,
5 feet.
so about
So you get
20
just-
feet deep.
These plants are really, really big. After missionaries reported seeing a huge pitcher plant in the, is it archipelago?
Yes.
Archipelago.
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 Seeing a huge pitcher plant in the archipelago, a scientific research team first cataloged the plant in 2007. So 7 years later, I guess they had enough funding. They published their findings in 2009. These silly bastards are fucking massive, too. They usually grow up to 5 feet in
No shit.
height.
What?
They grow from the ground, and their stem is about 1.5 inches wide.
That's like toddler size.
From
Awesome.
the pictures, I would have thought like a foot or 2 feet max.
They are 5
feet tall?
5 feet in height. They're about 1.5 meters
Holy
high.
Shit.
And their flowers, which grow to the back of this pitcher plant, they are a foot long and 4 inches wide. So, like, you know, a nice little crest. They're usually green with yellow, and they showcase purple striations, like columns. They grow at an elevation of over 4,500 feet to just under 5,800 feet above sea level. So a very specific, what is that called?
Altitude.
Elevation?
But it's called something else, like
Altitude.
the bathysphere. What are those things called?
I don't know.
Stratosphere.
Stratosphere, yeah. It's
Atmosphere.
It's the different atmospheres, yeah.
Heliosphere.
So only in that one...
Troposphere.
In that one...
Cumulus clouds.
There you go. Cirrus. So only in that one...
Cumulonimbus.
In that,
Sorry, I'm
yeah,
done.
points. No, that's points. Only in that one area can they grow. And this plant in attenboroughii has evolved to prey on the flora of the islands of Palawan. It looks like an innocent, free drink of water, because on the surface of the water, there be pitcher and fauna. That's when it acts as its own ecosystem. Mosquito larvae, other small critters will take advantage of that surface tension and will use that as a breeding ground. A total cock tease. Small mammals like shrews and amphibians like frogs and lizards will hop onto the lid of the pitcher plant to feast or drink from the nectar of the gods, as it were. But little do they know, it's a Mercurial Devastronicon.
Sure it is.
And I made that up.
Sounds like a
Totally made it up.
transformer, yeah.
It's made up of 2 separate liquid gravities, is what it is. So the fluid inside of their bell is, I wrote, a happening death trap waiting.
Okay.
If a small creature falls in, they quickly find out the first half of the substance is not buoyant enough to support mass, so they just fall in. And there's like really actually heartbreaking photos of like rats like looking at scientists being like, can you help a brother out? They're like, nope.
Science,
a
bro.
rope or something over here, dude?
Science, bro.
They jump on to the outer brim of the pitcher plant, which is really waxy, so they fall off anyway, and they sink underneath that top soup layer, and then they hit the thick bottom sludge, and that clogs all respiratory orifices, and then if there is a god, I hope they meet here quickly, because they're dead anyway. But that bottom sludge is actually detritus. In October 2012, the team went back and found that a shrew was recently caught. So they set up cameras, and they came back 2 months later. Throughout the next 2 weeks, the shrew was converted to skeletal form.
Mm-hmm. Gross.
And
at the bottom, all that was left was just hair and other bits of like cartilaginous fiber that over time decompose and actually produces a really pungent fragrance, I guess. But because of that top soup layer, it actually gets dissipated. So it's not an overwhelming like
it just kind of smells tasty.
Because if animals smell death, they're not going to go around it.
Right.
You know?
They want to have the tasty. Like
here's the thing about the poop plant. The Nepenthes pitcher plant family, the closest relative through fossil DNA tracking, originates 60 million years ago. But that thing was totally different from what the modern pitcher plant is today. It's a whole new product of the New World. It exists without any kind of DNA equal or genetic equal, and totally on an island of its own in Palawan in the Philippines. It's its own evolutionary creature, it's really fascinating when viewed from that viewpoint. Again, 2000 missionaries saw it. 2007 they documented and cataloged it for the first time as its own separate species of plant. 2009 it was officially classified as a new plant.
It's so tight. Nice. We got these sciencey ass missionaries out there right now. They're like going to like spread the gospel.
What else?
Hold on. This is a fucking new kind of pitcher plant right here. Hold on. Notes.
This thing is super dope as fuck, right?
Yes.
So
technically, yes.
It took little to no time at all before those seeking a high black market price up descended upon Palawan to deracinate and uproot Nepenthes attenboroughii.
Of course.
So in less than 20 years of first being sighted and reported to scientists, poachers have since made this rare specimen critically endangered.
Way to go, humans. Way to go, humans.
Thanks, humans.
That's what we do. We ruin good things.
So that's why I think you guys should jump in.
Well, that's why we shouldn't jump in.
No,
you just
rare.
stated a bunch of reasons not to get in it.
It's rare, dog.
Yeah, but rare isn't usually a good thing when it comes to jungle plants.
It is for wine.
Okay, well, you just clearly outlined why you should not be in this fucking thing, right? Like, it's going to turn you into vertebrae. And hair.
You don't know that.
You're hairy.
Yeah, we do, because you just told us. You just
wait,
said
I don't have any hair anymore?
You never really did have that much. You're kind of a smooth boy.
Psych.
Is it kind of working as depilatory on you right now? What's going on?
I haven't checked my balls with that.
All these vocab words.
Wow. I don't know.
I mean, I can get up, I can stand up if you guys want
I
to.
think you should probably just get out of here. I mean, it's probably just not a good idea.
You're covered in like weird shrimpy.
Check if I have any hair on my balls.
Where the fuck are his feet?
Oh, God, dude. He's got no fucking feet, dude.
Where do I have hair on my balls?
You have no feet. You got no feet.
Hair balls.
Oh, my God.
Oh, God,
Jesus,
dude.
God.
That is
What are
not
you going
good.
to do?
It's like not even bone. It's just bloody nubs. Oh, God, just nubs.
It ain't the bone.
Right off, man.
I got hair on my balls.
I'm not looking at your
balls. Are fine.
Okay, he's looking at your balls. I'm looking at your non-existent feet.
They're okay.
Psych.
Are you happy that you got someone to look at your balls even though you don't have any feet?
Ow!
Flappy, bad
Right.
flappy.
Well, someone's got to carry you now. So.
I can walk.
No,
Not it.
No!
Ow!
No, try to stand up again. Try to stand up again. I think it's hilarious. Try to stand up again.
I'll try.
Don't put the flappy veins on the jungle floor. That's
probably
even more.
bad. Yeah. Everything's going right in you. Everything's going right into your bloodstream. Dirt, flies, everything.
Gross, dude. What the fuck?
Because we're going to leave you behind.
All right.
Sorry.
Well, that's just super unfortunate. Not exactly the most sanitary place to lose one's feet. Whatever will become of our intrepid explorers?
Who the fuck is that? He's a dulcet.
Fritz is
toad.
missing his feet.
Yeah, what's going on? This is fucked up.
If you know about... Thank you.
What's happening?
Someone?
If you are God, help.
Let us know what to do. Get
God
us
has
out.
a British accent?
Maybe I can jump back in there and get my feet back.
No. Don't go back in there. And if you do, go face first.
Elite Exhale's flagship disposable vape cartridge is called Citrus Sap. It's made from high-quality CBD oil that comes from the U.S. under strict control quality for purity and meets all of the current state and federal guidelines for CBD oil. Head on over to EliteExhale.com. Use the promo code FRITZ19 for 10% off. That's EliteExhale.com.
Why are you grunting like that? I'm the one carrying this motherfucker. Like,
Yeah, but I got to cut through all this brush. I mean, he weighs like what, $1 Come on, dude. I got to.
he's missing both his feet. He's still surprisingly heavy, drenched in sweat. Also, your fucking blood
it's
dripping
everywhere.
all over me, dude.
Oh, your back is
I'm
just
sorry.
soaking in
The whole thing.
disgusting.
Why did you get in a plant?
Very
You guys,
metallic smell.
thank you for your used socks on my stumps.
Gross.
They feel a little better.
You are so gross. Why am I the one carrying him again? Like, what the fuck? Like,
Because, dude, I
yeah.
mean, you're such a big Game of Thrones fan, and so we figured that you get the whole experience. He's like your brand, you know? It's all good for you.
Guys, do you mind if I whisper in your ear like this?
you've been doing it all fucking day, dude. And you
you
need
like
to
it.
chill.
You like
This
it,
is the
though.
most normal you've been.
Oh,
What is wrong with this guy other than not having any feet?
I'm
Being out
I'm
alone?
dying.
you know
He's
what?
clearly
Yeah, the
losing it.
dying thing, that can mess you up. Dying can mess you up.
All right, well, it's getting dark, and I think we need to camp. He looks terrible. Where do
He
we?
does. He always
Kaz,
does.
don't look at me like that. Where are we supposed to go?
God damn it. I hate carrying people. I hate
Okay,
deciding.
well,
You're
Put
so
him
good
down.
at it.
Put him down and do what? Leave him there?
No, we're camping. We're all going
Here,
to
just
sleep
right here. We're gonna camp here,
Yes.
right here.
Safely building a fire.
All right, you know what? This is actually.
What materials do you have for a camp and fire? What
I mean, we're in the jungle.
Make it happen?
Yeah, that's exactly
Yeah,
what
make-
we're gonna do.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
happen.
always make things happen.
That's true. That's
Kaz
all
is
right.
like a giant Galapagos tourist.
I'm a survivor.
I think he's getting a little lightheaded over here, guys.
He's lost a lot of blood.
That big old turtle friend.
This is a nice clearing. Let's do it here.
Pitcher plant. Yeah, looks good.
All right,
safe.
I'm gonna go
The
tear up
elements.
some of these giant fucking prehistoric ferns and
Eat some friends for yourself, turtle friend.
fashion a bandage for our delirious quote unquote
something.
fearless
All right,
leader.
maybe.
He's gonna.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
Shut up.
Sorry, I keep
God.
on putting my finger in his nose. I'm sorry. It's
Ew,
just,
man,
I know
Daddy.
it feels so
That's
weird. It's like
disgusting.
it feels like a corn.
Are your hands clean?
No, God, no, oh, God, no, never.
Pour some natty on them first.
Oh, that doesn't make it better. That makes it way worse.
Oh!
What? I like kitties. That sounded like a big kitty.
That
Yep.
was.
Wait. Yeah. That's some type of tiger.
Tiger?
Definitely
You can tell by the smell it's a
I
tiger.
can smell the stripes.
Not a puma. You can smell the stripes on it.
Got the smell of the tiger.
Smells like almonds.
No, by the piss smell, you idiots.
Oh, damn! That's some advanced tracker shit.
That is.
I told you, I'm a survivor.
Smells like almonds.
Yeah, just keep
Smells like
getting better and better.
Sweet almonds.
No, that's just you decaying and dying. That's what you
Stop!
smell.
Come back!
Definitely
What are you
smells
doing?
better than your legs.
Stop
Dude,
moving!
Ew, stop.
Stop moving!
Dude, there's a tiger
They
out
can
there.
smell
evidently.
your bloody legs.
Yeah,
Get out
you're
of the
just-
wind.
It's bad. You're downwind from death.
Yes.
What are you going towards right now? What do you think? What do you think you're getting
What do
to?
you do? I mean,
Also, you've gotten like 2 feet.
Stop! Shut up!
yeah, you're just crawling.
No,
It's,
it's a kitty cat. Big old kitty cat looking for a little fuss.
Please don't do this.
Just a little fuss, right?
part of me wants to let him do this. Part of me really wants to let him do this. I mean,
Fritz, there's a goddamn tiger.
You don't know.
Hold on, wait.
Yes. Can you hear it?
Yeah. Hey, kitty cat!
Oh my
Stop!
God.
Okay, you know what?
according to the piss whisperer over here, we've got a tiger in the area.
Well
okay?
done, and you're welcome.
This.
Thank you.
You know, this.
Well,
This is
good, by the way.
reminding. This is reminding me a lot of. He might be infected with Toxoplasma gondii. Gondii?
I
That
think
sounds
Gandhi.
like Gandhi, though.
Gandhi, with 2 eyes would be Gandhi.
You guys talking about Gandhi?
Yeah, he's here.
We could use him right now.
Yeah.
We could use a little Gandhi in our life right
Can I
now.
interject in the story? At least I help. Hold on.
Oh, your feet. Your lack of feet. It's disgusting.
Just feels like I got wet leaves all over him like socks.
That's what you got.
That's my bandaging.
Pretty much.
Yeah, well, you did a great job.
Thank you.
I'm sarcastic. That's
it's
horrible.
like Peter Pan.
How is that like Peter Pan? Because he's never going to grow old?
God, Toxoplasma gondii is a eukaryote that causes the infectious disease toxoplasmosis.
That sounds bad.
That sounds...
It's actually pretty prevalent in the Western culture. It's a...
It is.
Most... I don't want to say most people, but several people are carriers of Toxoplasma gondii and are displaying low-level symptoms of toxoplasmosis.
Okay.
Infecting virtually all warm-blooded animals, except for felids, or domestic cats.
Except for Felixes?
Felids. Felids? Felids?
Felids. Feline. Felid.
Felids, yeah, that makes sense. So the interesting thing about it is that the reason that it doesn't actually display any symptoms in the felids is because the cat body, wild or domestic, so domestic more prevalent for infecting most warm-blooded animals, but it exists in both wild and domestic cats. It's the only place that it can sexually reproduce.
Oh, weird.
So it transmits itself through the body of a cat.
Ooh.
Weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
So cat bodies are like swinger clubs for these plasmoids?
Yeah,
or
it's
whatever?
exactly what it is. If you were to put a very scientific and
Sexual.
articulate point on it, that's
Yeah.
exactly what you would do. These are
Toxoplasmosis lounge.
That's hot.
Just hanging out.
yeah.
Everyone's just,
It's plasma night at the lounge.
You come here often?
I'm gonna.
Studies estimate that 30 to 50% of the global population has been exposed to and may be chronically infected with toxoplasmosis.
Well, that's not good.
Basically, it is transmitted through after the cat consumes the plasmids of something that is infected with this. It passes through their digestive system, reproduces in their intestinal tract, and then is excreted through their feces. When the Toxoplasma gondii infects a member of the rodent family, it actually alters the behavior of the host to be less, resistant or less averse to the smell of feline urine or to typical signs of feline presence. Meaning that it's more likely to be preyed upon by a cat to have then ingested the meat of this thing and then have its, gross, weird eukaryote infection carry on in the gut of it. So we've got almost a bacteria that is infecting the flesh of an animal that then alters the behavior of that animal to make it more likely to end up in the digestive tract of the only thing on Earth that it can sexually reproduce inside of.
Is this like a zombie virus? Or?
Pretty much, right? Like, if you think about it, that's fucking like if you eat a weird piece of broccoli one day, right? And then
We're all weird.
that broccoli
Little mini
causes you
trees.
to want to cut yourself all over your chest and then jump into the
Just
ocean.
do all the things you're not supposed to do. It's just all the natural, like, okay, with the rat, it's like, oh, wait, that smells like a cat. I better stay away. This is like, nah,
It'll
cats
be
are
fine.
fine.
Exactly.
Cats are great.
And they are.
Yeah, but so this will redirect an organism to be eaten by a cat so that it could
That it can then, correct.
It's almost like the bacteria attracts it to that thing. That's creepy and weird.
Right? The fact that
Leads it to its doom.
Yeah.
It's like pheromones.
And right, I can imagine that. So we've talked about like the zombie, the zombie mold that takes over like the ants and stuff before.
Cordyceps.
Points. And that's more mechanical. That was this thing that was kind of like moving the body of this thing. This is something that's in
higher
the blood.
brain control.
There's several, biological, very like in-depth descriptions of which type of cells it permeates and what it does or whatever. But basically, this is a fucking bacteria, a virus that infects this thing and then changes its behavior to make it prey to something that it can then, the bacteria can survive in. So to me, I thought that was like very, very interesting, very strange. And the majority of the human population, well, the majority, like at least 30 to 50% of the human population has been exposed to and or is chronically infected with Toxoplasmosis gondii.
So one of us, maybe.
Probably.
Probably.
1 out of 3. That's a good fucking, one of you.
It's probably me.
Probably.
Probably.
Even though you don't have cats, it's probably you.
Actually, side note, it is something that women can get. It's a warning they get about wearing their tampons too long.
Like toxic shock.
Is that
Yes.
toxic shock? It's the same thing.
Yeah. And like,
So if you give a cat a tampon, it's fucked.
What do you...
and then
good
women, like,
luck.
if you're pregnant, like, and you have cats, like, you're really not supposed to be changing litter boxes.
Correct. That was one of the things they said, that people with immunocompromised and people that were, had HIV and things like that, they say stay away from litter boxes. 16% of people actually get them from their domestic cats and from their litter boxes, but it's something that could potentially happen. And if you have a compromised immune system, it could potentially cause more adverse.
I'm pretty sure that's how one guy died in train spotting.
Humans can obviously get this. Are there adverse health reactions with this thing?
Yeah.
Or is it just a fun club?
Yeah, or is it just something you have?
You get like a newsletter.
You get like a card.
You do, hey.
Yeah. You go to like a cat potty lounge. It's great.
Cool handshakes and everything. Yeah.
This is way better than the Hep C convention.
You guys are way more light about this.
A Hep C convention. Where you going this weekend? A convention. What's it for? Never mind.
So, quoting from the Wikipedia article, a number of studies have suggested that subtle behavioral or personality changes may occur in infected humans, particularly schizophrenia and bipolar disorder.
Damn.
A 2015 study has shown that cognitive deficiencies in adults to be associated with Toxoplasma gondii causes a variety of symptoms between flu-like, kind of just feeling kind of ill, or to, like I said, schizophrenia, neurological disorders, bipolar, etc. To wash your hands after you clean your litter box. Got to be careful with that. So
That sounds disgusting. I don't want any part of that.
Well, then wash your hands. Don't touch cats.
Well, I do touch cats.
Then wash your hands.
Guys, I have a question. What if we don't want the government telling us what we can do with our body?
That's the age-old question, my friend. I don't know.
Vote as a woman. I guess that would be kind of important to you.
Yeah,
Huh?
I ask that every day, really.
That's so great. Our government is like, if you're a dude, do whatever. You're a woman, we got some things we need to talk about.
Come over here, little lady.
Let me teach you the ways of you.
It can also be spread through soil that has been in contact with infected feces. So there's sometimes, that's why they tell you wash your vegetables, etc. If the cat's been like randomly pooping in your cabbage patch or whatever, then you might end up with...
I think that's a dance song.
I was going to say,
cat's been pooping in my cabbage patch. Also, the animals that would have consumed said poop cabbage could potentially carry the so undercooked. That was another thing with undercooked pork, undercooked meats, etc. Things like that. Does that cat have Toxoplasma gondii, which you clearly have because you are trying to lead us to this fucking tiger?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like enamored with it. It's weird.
I'm not trying to do anything. You guys are fucking... No. You guys are trying to put words in my dying mouth.
You're not dying. You just don't have feet. We're trying to save you. Just chill.
You don't know what I'm going through, man.
Let me see this. Hey, Fritz, you want to play with Kitty?
Yeah.
You want to play with Kitty?
Yeah.
You want to play with Kitty?
Yeah.
You want to play with Kitty, don't you?
As long as it kills me.
Okay, see? There it is. There it is. Yeah.
Well, it's
totally
attracted to your bloodstream or whatever the fuck you have inside of you.
I didn't say that.
Oh, God!
Jesus Christ!
Oh, God! Oh, it's got him right by the neck!
Fritz!
Oh, God! Oh, he's dead! Oh, there's no way!
Fritz! Circling me.
There's no way! That tiger has got him right by the neck! He's just whipping him around like a rag doll!
I told you guys!
Oh, it's okay.
I always come prepared.
He's gone now. He's gone, guys. Wait, what are you doing?
You see this?
What the hell is that?
This is a big-ass laser pointer.
Yeah, it is!
That's tight.
Yeah, follow
Where did
it.
you get that?
Follow it. You'll never catch it. You'll never catch it.
Look at him go at it. Oh, he's getting... Oh,
they act just like little cats. How cute that is.
I mean, Fritz is totally bleeding out at this point, but the cat is adorable.
Really cute. I love an act
Fritz
like
is just
this.
like a spewing blood like a fountain.
Huge.
Do you have a laser
CPR. I got CPR going. Fritz, stop talking.
Wait, no.
You're ruining CPR.
You're supposed to sing a song while you do that. Like, do Haas. It's supposed to be like, do
Haas. Do Haas.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, you're supposed to do Haas.
I don't think so.
We know the game plays.
Stop talking. Stop.
You're not
Shh.
helping.
Mouth to mouth. Shh. This is where we do mouth to
Jungle,
mouth.
please. I got what you.
In my mouth?
Oh, you got it in your mouth. Oh my God,
Toxoplasma.
that's so awesome.
Toxoplasma gondii.
That's how it's transmitted.
Got it.
Oh, you're here
You're
it now. You're
You're
it.
done.
Tag, you're it.
This is how it's transmitted. Son of
Go
a
play with the
bitch.
cat, dude. Go play with the cat. You know
Gonna
you're
attract all
going
the
to.
cats.
Let's
Should we get out of here?
let's go. We can find a picture plane or something. I got fucking blood and whatever the hell
Yeah.
else is gross shit in my mouth.
Stop trying to stand up. Stop
why
trying to
did you-
stand up.
You don't have feet.
I was trying to sing "Welcome to the Jungle." Elite Exhale is a high-quality CBD vape. It's a healthy alternative to nicotine, and it contains zero nicotine or THC, just pure and natural CBD. Use promo code FRITZ19 for 10% off right now at EliteExhale.com.
The grievously wounded Fritz is essentially being hodored by the ever-tiring Kaz, who clearly doesn't have the cardio for this type of stuff. Angela remains as sharp as ever, but her patience for this bullshit is starting to wane. Mandaddy has somehow gotten a significant amount of natty in his body, despite there not being anywhere near a 7-Eleven. They trudge, ever forward. Their resolve, the only thing more thorny and vibrant than the jungle they fight against. What could possibly befall our heroes now, as they move ever forward into certain doom?
What doom?
Doom.
Why are you
Doom?
talking? Who
What
are
are you talking
you?
about?
I'm not into Doom.
If you know what's going on, tell us.
Doom
How do we
sucks.
get out of
I like
this? This is
Doom Patrol.
ridiculous.
Doom
You guys
Patrol's
heard that
amazing.
too?
Yes.
Who is this man?
I know. How is he in our heads? Is he actually in the atmosphere or
How
only
does he
in
know
our
what's
brain?
going
Is he
on?
Santa?
I don't know.
Oh, thank God! I
Is
thought
it
I was
Santa?
dying.
Are you Santa? Are you an English Santa?
Kaz?
Yep.
Kaz, you're shaking a lot.
You're getting heavy, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting heavy.
Your blood.
Well, he's
level.
actually getting lighter by the minute.
Thank you.
Technically, yeah.
My spleen.
Did it slip?
You can feel your spleen.
Did it fall out of your
Oh
leg?
God, no! God,
yet.
it looks
That would be
something.
messed
Something
up.
did.
Kaz,
What was that?
you have to keep
Pick
come
it
on,
up. You don't want to
keep
lose
walking.
that.
Yeah.
Keep walking,
Put it
Kaz.
on ice.
God, you know what? He's losing it. Man. I'll keep.
This is not good.
Even if he dies, I
really
guess I'll
not good.
continue to. Oh no,
Oh,
he's out. Well,
that's actually probably better.
I was gonna
That's
say
probably better.
Probably better.
Yeah.
He's been saying some weird shit in my fucking
What has he
ear,
been
you
saying?
guys. You don't
Is it
even
like that?
want to know, man. God, sip.
What the hell was that?
What was that?
Damn it.
It looked like a fucking like a dachshund like
Yeah.
fluttered past you. What the fuck was that?
I don't know, but something just bit my fucking neck, dude.
Jesus Christ!
Oh, this is not
It's swelling.
good.
I can see it swelling.
Yeah.
Stop rubbing
Your
it.
neck
Oh, I
looks
can't stop
enormous.
rubbing it.
It's like
It
super
hurts.
red right now. Oh my god.
Hey, man, Daddy, I don't know if anyone said, but your neck looks.
Now your
this
whole
hurts like a
head's
motherfucker.
turning red.
Oh, something's in me, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
What do you mean?
great.
What do you mean?
Somebody pop it. What is it?
Get on the ground, roll around on the branches.
That's not going to help, but I'm going to do it anyway. Oh, God.
So okay, so we're gonna have to pop
Inside
it.
of me.
Hold on, he
Get
can
it,
do
get it,
He
get
can
it.
do it.
Someone suck the poison out.
Kaz, don't put me down! Ah, God damn it!
All right, come over here. I'll try to suck the fucking poison out.
Get in there. Get in there.
Ew.
Get in there. Oh,
This is
God.
too
Oh,
much.
this is even worse than before. Now I'm going to be thinking about this. Oh, do I have to write a blog about this or something? This makes no sense anymore. I'm so in pain and confused. This might be bad. This might be really bad.
I mean, it seems really bad.
Yeah, it doesn't seem good at all.
First of all, you ruined the moment.
Yeah, did you see that? Look kind
I'm
of
sorry.
waspy.
Next time, a little wine, some candles. What happened to romance?
We're in the
Jeez.
jungle. What's more romantic than that?
Have you ever heard of Ichneumonidae?
That's a great band.
It would be a great band, but it's actually a horrible thing. Ichneumons, pronounced Ichneumons,
Spell that.
Ichneumons.
N-E-U.
M-O-U-S-E.
Ichneumons. Ichneumons. They're massive soup for family of parasitic wasps.
Oh, shit.
Points.
So they
On the
are,
board.
in fact, a massive superfamily of parasitic wasps.
Now,
I
wait
just
a
love
minute.
the
Is
term.
this like Lori Loughlin parasitic wasp?
Got him!
Bam! Topical.
where you at?
Topical.
Oh,
Bring it. While usually they're not a threat to humans, usually, but right now, evidently,
That
it
fucker
is.
was big.
It was
too.
big. It was big. It had weight to it. I mean, I felt like a baby was on my neck. Now, the thing about these wasps is they have a rather horrific way of starting life. Now, they average in length between 1/8 to 5 inches long, and all have a intimidating ovipositor, which is quite literally an egg depositor, but it looks like a stinger. They don't actually sting. They just look like these giant evil wasps. But one thing that they all have in common is that they start life as a parasite.
What's the difference between ovipositing and stinging?
Well, stinging stinging would inject a venom,
And-
while an ovipositor injects an egg.
Okay, so
Gross.
way worse than a sting.
Yeah.
True, but it's not a literal
It's not a
outstage. It's just more like it's like blick, and now worse stuff happens way later.
And now you
Wait, I'm
are
talking
a
about
host.
myself.
Yeah. Now you're a host.
Good deal. Now, the female wasp will lay their eggs near or often on a host. Now, they have been observed drilling their ovipositor 2 to 3 inches into a dead log because they can hear larvae inside of it. So they'll put their antenna next to a log, hear fly larvae in it, and they'll dig their ovipositor into the wood 2 or 3 inches.
I don't like the way you're saying ovipositor.
It's just fun to say.
It's really erotic.
Ovipositor.
So, yeah, he's
and
got
then they
such a-
inject the ovipositor.
So throaty.
One to talk. Now, some
I don't
scientists
even know what that means.
have discovered, you will.
Oh,
Some scientists have discovered that the tip of some of the ovipositors may be hardened
Super hot.
with iodized manganese or zinc, like almost tiny little drill bits.
Oh, wow.
And they're not sure if it's like a natural process or if the wasps are somehow using outside materials like tools, like if they're somehow
They go
coating their
galvanized?
ovipositors. Yeah, basically.
get
So
like wasp shop.
this week on Wasp Shop.
I got the titanium ovipositor, girl.
Now, make sure you're...
Got that bling bling in my ovipositor.
You're gonna go straight down to that log, girl.
Yeah.
You know it, girl.
Make sure your fifth
Fuck.
hand is on the third drill bit. Now,
Holy shit, dude.
Kind
That's
of
nuts.
involved. Now, once
nuts.
Yeah, it is. Once the eggs begin to mature into the larval stage, they'll begin to feed on the blood and soft tissue of the
There it
fly larva, and eventually chew their way through the wood and escape. But when eating fly babies isn't enough, certain Ichneumonidae wasps step up their game a bunch. While most parasites don't kill their host because no host equals no food, however, parasitoids give zero fucks about the life of their hosts.
Yeah, just like wasps. Mean motherfuckers.
They're just evil
Wasps
bastards.
suck.
Yeah, they suck. Bees do a lot for the planet. Wasps can go bite a biggin.
they don't do anything for the
Even
planet.
spiders, like I see a spider, I'm like kind of like maybe he's okay.
You
I'll
have a
name
place-
him.
you
His
have a
name's like
place in the
Robin or
ecosystem.
something. If I see a wasp, it's war. Like I don't give a fuck.
So
Yeah.
wasps have no benefit to the
No, they just help other
At least
wasps.
for us, maybe. Yeah,
They're
I
just
don't
like
know.
normal wasps in the white
they
culture. They just help themselves and nothing else.
Yeah.
That-
See, there you go.
That was
See?
Angela's
Second
joke,
shot,
though.
Lori Laughlin. Where
Yeah.
you at? Hashtag twice. Get the
Felicity
2-piece.
Huffman
Ba-boom.
as well.
Yeah.
One of the things also that they've been observed is using a sort of mind control against their hosts.
What?
So one breed of wasp lays their eggs up to about 80 directly inside of caterpillars. They land on a caterpillar, put in the ovipositor, and just drop in the eggs.
Gross.
Now, once inside, the eggs begin to mature.
It's just
And-
a serial rapist.
basically, but way more
worse.
horrible. Way more horrible. Now, the eggs begin to mature and feed once again on the body fluids, but somehow they always avoid eating any vital organs. Somehow these little tiny larvae bugs know how to eat the right parts of the caterpillar
So
to keep
advanced.
it alive.
They're just like, first the appendix,
Yeah.
then the gallbladder.
Then the
Those are the best.
calves. You're like you got 10 calves.
And
I can
one
take a couple of
kidney.
those. Yeah, exactly.
Just one.
And so basically, it becomes a shell of itself, but it still stays alive somehow, which is just
shit.
even worse.
Good
Now,
God.
the wasp larvae go through several molts inside of the caterpillar. And so as they shed their
Damn, do they pay
exoskeletons...
rent?
They
Come
should.
on.
They should. Now, as they shed their exoskeletons and they expand, the caterpillar begins to grow and expand as well. Till it looks like it's been described as a soda can in the freezer about to burst. And so it's just
poor thing.
Yeah, it's just horrible. Now, at this point, the wasp larvae have assumed total control of the caterpillar. And it will start using its own silk to create a protective covering to shield the larva. It'll actually cover itself almost into a cocoon just to save the larvae, not for its own uses. And then it'll go into defense mode. It'll actually get up on its hind legs and lash out at any predators.
Whoa.
And to save the eggs inside of it, including hyperparasitoids that actually lay their eggs into other wasp larvae. So it even goes to another level where there's a wasp that lies eggs inside of other wasp eggs.
Dude, this is so crazy.
Everybody's always like, the beauty of nature. Fuck that
shit. It's just evil on evil.
Evil and mean.
And blood and eating.
It's just anything for survival.
Insects need a lot of therapy.
As Ainsley was checking her
I know the way you're looking at your fingernails when you said that was so real, man.
Oh,
good
my
Lord.
God.
Well
I'm so
done.
infinitely more frightened of you now. Please don't
think that was
ever
possible.
kill me.
I didn't think that was possible. It is.
Ugh.
Christ almighty.
Like I said, now they will rear up on their hind legs and whip its head violently at any attackers. It's even been
Does that
observed.
nay-nay? Does that whip?
God,
Does that nay-nay?
that was a horrible
Yeah,
time
that
for
whip.
culture right there.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the...
That was a tight... No, I'm talking to him. That was a tight-ass motherfucking dance. Also, who are you scaring, caterpillar? Swollen caterpillar whipping your head.
Swole.
Whipping the nay-nay.
Whipping the nay-nay.
Because when it bucks up, it's like 7 feet tall.
Full of like...
Big ass caterpillar.
It's just like gyrating.
Dune.
Like, I'm full of fucking like wasp eggs. Like,
Yeah.
fuck off.
It's full of political powers at that point.
Ugh, gross.
It's even been observed grabbing enemies with its mouth and tossing it aside like
yeah.
Godzilla style.
That's gross.
Which is odd for a placid vegetarian. You know, they're very placid vegetarians. All of a sudden they become these violent beasts. Now, it's fun time. Time for all 80 larvae to make their exit. And they do it all at once. Over the course of an hour, they release chemicals that paralyze the host, and then they begin to gnaw their way out. Now, what's interesting is that when the larvae finally leave their final exoskeleton actually kind of plugs up the hole left. So they actually create sort of like a half-ass bandage surgery
Like a
as they
cauterization.
leave. So it doesn't, once again, the host doesn't die immediately as it should. As it bursts out, you think it would just finally be the death. Nope, still keeps it alive for a little bit. And so the host is now gravely wounded and basically will just live out for a short amount of time because it can't eat, it has no blood, anything, and eventually dies. But how do they mind control the host? Scientists have dissected caterpillars after being used as a host, and what they found out is that a few of the larvae are left behind, almost like they sacrifice themselves for the good of the brood.
Like the runts?
I don't know if it's selected that way. We don't know. But
The
one or two of them
professoresses.
will stay behind. They'll inject into the brain of the host a cocktail of chemicals that keep it under control, and then they stay behind so their brothers and sisters may escape and survive. So
After
it's
they
like
drug it up?
They like two of them like for the team. We'll take it for the team.
Just
and
like draw straws.
They could, like just like when a plane's going down and someone has to control the plane so it hits.
Right.
They're like, you guys go. I've got this. That's basically it. These are the Captain America of the wasp larvae.
Spoilers. Come on.
So, once again, as we've always learned, as we look into the horrors of the macro world around us, if you zoom into the micro, you can find some of the scariest shit around.
It's so terrifying.
Yeah, it
Just
is.
like Ichneumon wasps. Terrifying, scary, and now I've got bugs inside of me!
Yeah, you're scary.
Oh, no!
Yeah. Congratulations, you're expecting.
Cough!
Ugh,
No,
no.
cough.
No.
What is it?
Hold on, look at me. Yeah, I don't know. I
I
thought...
told you, let me second.
I'm sorry.
What is that? I think that's kind of, it sounds like
Oh my god.
maybe he's a bee
Is
or something.
that how wasps
I
sound?
think that's how
Wasp voice. Oh my god.
it's almost like a goat.
It's worse than it sounds.
Kill him!
Okay, I'm gonna have to do it. It's my duty. He tried to kill me in that fucking sea creature episode. I gotta return the
Just
favor.
make it quick, please.
All right, hang on. Let me get a log or something.
Take your time. Pick the right one.
It's gotta be big. It's
Please.
gotta
Wait, what are you guys
Quickly.
You guys are just gonna kill him?
Not that one. That's
Handle's weird.
Wait, what?
This one's got a wasp on it.
No.
Like, no, this might be like more of the
That one's got dry rot. You need to find one that's got a little more density.
Something solid,
No, that's
exactly.
going to break. Yeah.
Man, Daddy,
Can you help me
please,
pick one
we're
out?
trying to kill you.
A rock, maybe? Like
A rock would probably best, right?
Let's go with a rock.
That's a little dastardly.
Yeah, but it's quicker. Right in the temple.
If I get
That one over there is a little bigger.
Yeah.
if I get a good rock,
But that one's, if that feels good.
it's heavy. This will be the one.
And it's got a nice jagged edge.
Okay, I just want
I
it
gotta
to be
point it
really,
down.
really
Okay, here we
quick.
go.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold
Sorry,
on.
all right.
All right, Man Daddy.
Stay still.
They're walking up. All right, it's okay. Here
Unless
we
you
go.
want me to suck the poison out. We can do that again.
No,
it's gotta be the rock.
You gotta
It's
bludgeon
gotta
him
be
to
the rock at
death.
this
Yeah,
point.
go ahead and kill him in the face.
Well, this is probably it for the crew. Angela might survive another few days, but the others are definitely dead meat.
Jesus, I was just starting to get into this. Why is it every time I fucking fall in love with the show, they cancel it? It's like CW in this motherfucker.
They're canceling us?
Oh, we're being canceled.
Wow, that sucks. I didn't even know we had a contract.
I mean, come on, it's not actually rocket science. The man's got no feet. The other one's turning into a friggin' bee. They're fucked.
No, see, this is the problem with mainstream media and all other fake news publications that heavy-handed hate media and then are reliant upon it. It's it's the same thing. You assume the narrative and then you just run with it, and then you get some cronies from other organizations and associations to come in and they put their microphone on. So I get all my news from Fox News and Spluba.
That's because you're a complete fucking
No, I'm
moron.
not taking no sass from some fucking fake-ass British voice on the TV box. You elitist liberal scum. You coastal
You
elite.
want, mate? You want, mate? You
How
want some of this,
dare
mate?
you?
Oh, I'll take
How
you down.
dare you?
I'll take you right here.
How
I'll
dare
take you
you?
right
Okay.
here. I'm from a
How
completely different
dare
area
you?
with this
All
stupid
right.
accent.
How
This is
dare
some
you?
This is
pussy-ass shit.
ridiculous.
This is
Fart
pretty
sucker.
fucking
Who
stupid.
are
This is
you?
dumb.
Like,
Alex
Fart sucker.
who even is our
versus-
narrator? Why
You
is he even
fart
trying with
sucker.
Felix? Felix,
Go suck fart.
what the hell you...
Felix, chill.
Felix, you dick. Why are we stuck in here? Can we not do this anymore?
I gotta be honest with you. This is becoming a bit of a drain, seeing you guys just constantly pleading for your life every fucking week.
It's a drain for you.
No one-
I'm
so
really
sorry.
sorry.
This
That's gotta be
feet.
rough.
Knowing that I'm not gonna give it to you.
He's
I don't
turning
give a
into a
fuck
bee.
about them.
He's a
I don't
bee.
give a...
He's a bee.
You haven't asked me my question yet, by the way.
About
What question?
What?
Well, let me put you to channel 34 and answer this question.
Oh, my God.
oh shit.
Son of a
So just
bitch.
please.
Do you have the call for adventure? Do you want to risk your life so that other rich people could become even richer? If that answer is yes, I've got good news for you. Join the Misadventure Society by simply answering the 92-question survey on FortFritz.com. That's right, you can become a misadventurer just like, well, whoever stars in this podcast. Just go to FortFritz.com and answer the 92-question survey. Misadventure is waiting for you. Not applicable to the following states: Hawaii,